You can tell that this makes me happy.
Yeah.
It's very possible that Manchester City will be docked points or even sent packing from the English Premier League. That would be very good.
It's going to be a huge call from wherever it's going to come from. I think it's going to be a huge call to send Manchester City packing from the Premier League. They have been the best side in the past 5-6 years now.
But according to the evidence now, they've been the best side for the past 6 years because of the cheating that they have done financially. So have they really been the best side? Okay, so at this point, I'd like to tell Shopsy no, Shopsy, we miss you, right?
Yeah,
please come back. This is the second episode in a row that you're missing out on, and you know it doesn't feel the same without you. This is a lot better to Shopsy.
Probably.
He's walking alone, right?
Liverpool fan is walking alone. His club is walking alone, and it's a sad moment for Shopsy. But we do miss you. Please come back to this show.
Yeah, Shopsy, please come back. But in the absence of Shopsy, we can make it Manchester United's home.
Yeah,
right.
Certainly.
Let's start off with Manchester United and Leeds. That one happened on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it was a very, very big game for a couple of reasons. It was the first match that Casemiro would play, serve his 3-match ban for that red card, and Eriksen as well missing out due to the 3-month injury that he's currently suffering.
Yeah.
So we saw Marcel Sabitzer have his first full debut in the Premier League for Manchester United, and we saw a midfield partnership between him and Fred. How did you think it looked?
It was an atrocious display from Fred, to be very honest with you. Sabitzer played well. Yeah, Sabitzer played well. There was no, if you watch that game, there was no holding midfielder throughout that game, and that was the reason Leeds, even right from the onset, they pressed so hard on Man United. From minute 1, they pressed too hard. But then in midfield, Fred was non-existent. And we can see, obviously, everyone knows in the world that without Casemiro in that midfield is a very, very huge dilemma for Manchester United. Fred shouldn't be starting as a DM for Man United. And they're going to play Leeds on Sunday again. I don't think Fred should start again. They should, I don't know what Ten Hag needs to do, but Fred doesn't. They are going to be at home Leeds, and they're going to press even more than they did at Old Trafford. Sabitzer had a very good game. Sancho came on and did his thing, and we've all been willing about Sancho, want Sancho back, and we've seen what Ten Hag has done with him.
For him. He feels like a new signing.
Like actually a very new, he brought the energy back into the team, and I don't see a reason why Rashford should be starting on the right. If you watch the game, the first half, it was abysmal on that right-hand side. I think, personally, I would go with a front three of Rashford, Sancho, and Anthony if he's available on Sunday against Leeds. So Sancho is good to have him back in the team.
Definitely. I feel like we should just quickly stay on that. Just quickly touch on that Marcel Sabitzer and Fred partnership in the midfield for Manchester United just a little bit more, right? It was a situation where this is a new partnership, right? It was bound to show, and this is the Premier League. Yeah. And this is a lead side that presses, and they are quite fast as well. So it was just unfortunate that this was the game where we had to test out, that partnership. Sabitzer was given the responsibility of holding that midfield, and in my opinion, he did not do a good job. He did not open himself up for passes. He was hiding behind, behind the Leeds players, and he was not dropping into that centre-back position well enough to shield the back four, and as well to collect the ball and move the ball forward, because he's quite good on the ball. Yeah. He made a few really good crosses. He's very good with both his left foot and his right foot, and moving forward he was great. But defensively he was not all that, he was not all that sound, and that was what he was there for. I feel like Ten Hag knows that he cannot use Fred as the only holding midfielder, and that was not the plan in that game. It was Sabitzer that was supposed to do that, but he didn't do it well enough. So I think that was what led to. And at the end of the day, Fred has always been scapegoated. He has just always been scapegoated.
He's not good enough to play in that midfield, that defensive midfield role.
You said you don't think Fred should start. Manchester United actually do not have anybody else that will play there at the moment. McTominay is currently injured, and that's all. That's all the options that we have. Casemiro is out. Eriksen is out. We have no other options. So on Sunday, we're very likely to see that same Sabitzer and Fred partnership. But I hope that they will pick out some major learning points from the first leg, on Wednesday in Old Trafford, and not make the same mistakes on Sunday. But moving on from that game specifically, there's still something to discuss about Manchester United. We're hearing about the ownership situation and them trying to wrap it up before the end of the season. Do you think that's going to happen?
We will love it, and I think we deserve it. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, talking about the squad not having enough to play against Lidl Fred, the ownership needs to happen. We need
the
a
ownership
whole
change,
lot.
yes.
Yeah, we need a whole lot of investment in that
yeah.
Manchester United team. Even if it's not going to happen now, but I feel it should happen now. So in the summer, we are not going to be busy about selling the club. We should be busy recruiting new players and all that. Yeah. So there are two high bidders now: the Qatari guys and Sir
Jim Ratcliffe, yes.
So who would you prefer, the Qatari guys or Sir
Jim Ratcliffe. I would prefer Sir Jim Ratcliffe because he's a Manchester United fan by all
Supporter,
accounts, and he is somebody who understands the football. He's not coming into the club as, you know, for that sports washing that the Qatari people are known for, right? He's not coming into the game for that. He's going to back the club. He's going to be a fan of the club. And when you have a fan of the club running the club, you would see that owner doing exactly what the fans want, to some extent. So I would prefer Sir Jim Ratcliffe, but in terms of the financial might and the financial power, you know, to make those big signings and whatnot, you probably be the Qatari. But yeah, it definitely bodes well for Manchester United for them to quickly wrap up the ownership situation, so that when the summer window comes around, there's space and there's new investment to make those important signings that we need. Because going into next season, we definitely do not want to go into a subpar squad. So it's just just moving on from where we are now, moving on to a better situation. And talking about players and signings and for Manchester United, Mason Greenwood's situation is a very interesting one. Just at the start of the week, the court case, about the situation with him and his girlfriend. We didn't really want to touch on it too much, but I feel like it's something we should ask the fans. Do you think that Mason Greenwood can still or should still play for Manchester United? That's the question of the day for fans out there. With the situation on ground right now, the charges against Mason Greenwood have been dropped in the court of law. Do you think he should still, play for Manchester United or not? Let me hear your opinion.
Well, it's in the court of public opinion now, and I feel it is what it is. The club has come out to say that after the court dropped the charges against him, that they're going to look into further details. And those further details are going to be very, very critical in terms of the merchandise, the sponsorship and all that. Because when it happened, Nike stripped Greenwood of the contract that he was on. So I think those are the fundamental issues that they're going to look into. And again, it's a gender issue, and there is a female football team, and so these are all the fundamental things the club are going to look into. I don't really know what will happen, but honestly, it's football. It's football. I think people, I won't say people are being overreactionary. Everyone saw what happened. We saw it, but then he's a very good talent. He's a great talent that Man United are going to miss, and getting someone of his talent and his level, Man United are going to spend a whole lot, and I know Man United wouldn't want to waste that amount of money.
In my opinion, I think the Mason Greenwood Manchester United situation is done. Like, it's done, it's dead in the water. I feel like he should just move on because, like I said before we came on the show, he has sort of found victory in the court of law, but in the court of public opinion, he has been judged guilty, and he has been, he has been cancelled at this point. So. How do you expect Manchester United fans that are female, that are women, to see the situation when they see somebody who did such a thing? The videos and the evidence that we saw, it was as clear as day. He can thank maybe some legal technicalities for the court victory. But in terms of the videos and all the things that we saw online, he was caught dead to rights, right? So, in my opinion, I don't think Manchester United should go anywhere near Greenwood with a 10-foot pole. Like, he should be let go of, because, like you said, there's a women's team. There are female fans. I don't think any female fan would want to see somebody like Mason Greenwood playing for Manchester United. So yeah, it's just unfortunate. He's a wonderful talent, but it is what it is. If you're a talent on the pitch and your personal life, comes out in the open like this, and and things like this are happening, you can't get any support really. So yeah, and Manchester United being the commercial club that they are, they definitely will put into consideration the commercial effects of having Mason Greenwood back in the team. I'm very sure there are some brands that will that will not want to have anything to do with Mason Greenwood at this point.
Yep.
So if Manchester United decide to keep him, they might be seeing some fans pulling away from the club. So yeah, that's interesting. But let us know in the comment sections anywhere you're watching this. Do you think that Mason Greenwood should continue as a Manchester United fan? Do you think Manchester United should reinstate Mason Greenwood into the fold? But still in Manchester, not moving too far. Manchester City. This is one very, very good one for me. The financial fair play situation at Manchester City is coming to a head, right? They have been found guilty. No, not found guilty, but they are being investigated for financial mismanagement, and it's possible, very possible. You can tell that this makes me happy. It's very possible that Manchester City will be docked points or even sent packing from the English Premier League. That would be very good.
It's going to be a huge call from wherever it's going to come from. I think it's going to be a huge call to send Manchester City packing from the Premier League. They have been the best side in the past 5-6 years now.
But according to the evidence now, they've been the best side for the past 6 years because of the cheating that they have done financially. So have they really been the best side?
They've still been the best side because they have a world-class coach. They've done everything. But like I said, it's going to be a huge decision to send Manchester City packing. Even I'm hearing they're going to strip them of their Premier League.
Some of their titles, yes.
It's going to be a huge call.
Not just Premier League, actually. All the League Cups, all the Premier League
domestic
titles,
cups that
it's very likely.
It's going to be a huge. It's going to be a huge call. But I wouldn't like that. They bring so much. They make the league so interesting. They make the league so
it's interesting to you, like the dominance.
It's not about just the dominance. They brought something during Fergie's era. There was something about Fergie's era. But then, during this Pep's era, he's just showing another level of football. People can say, "Oh, he spent a lot of money." I don't care. I don't care. People, Chelsea spent actually. And let's see what Chelsea can do in the coming years. But they've spent money. I don't care how they did it, but they've played brilliant football. They've done things. The only thing that I remember they will say is they've not won the Champions League, and that's why I can even say that Guardiola is focused on the Champions League, and that's why you can see their league form and domestic form drop this season.
Yeah, so, definitely. All banter aside, I believe that this Pep Guardiola Manchester City squad has 100% upgraded, or let me say upped, the quality of play in the Premier League.
Yep.
I mean, this Pep Guardiola Manchester City side has pushed other Premier League sides to go for the best managers in the world.
Exactly. The best players in the world.
The best players in the world. Bringing in Jurgen Klopp by Liverpool. The amount of competition in the Premier League. I feel like Guardiola just sort of pushed it a little bit further in the Premier League, and that competition, Premier League can thank Manchester City and Pep Guardiola for that. But yeah, I feel like they should be punished. The financial fair play rules are there for a reason, but they should be punished. Maybe not as drastic as sending them out of the Premier League, but maybe docking them of some points, removing like 15 to 20 points, which is something that they're discussing.
Absolutely.
15 to 20 points is a fair thing, and then let's resume next season. And of course, go stricter on their finances and make sure that they're not flouting any of those rules anymore. And interestingly, Manchester City have employed the services of a lawyer for this case, and I've heard that the lawyer is being paid £80,000 per day.
Wow, that's huge.
£80,000 per day for this case. So that guy is smiling to the back at this one.
He's cashing out. He's cashing out, bro.
What it is. In this kind of situation, you want to get the best legal representation. Just so things are sorted out. Talking about still on the Premier League, right? Harry Kane, we said it in the show on Monday, he's become the third highest goal scorer in the Premier League of all time. And we're looking at a situation where he might be moving clubs at the end of the season.
Yeah, for the best part of 3 to 4 years now, he's been on Man United's radar. He's more of a Man United player than the other targets that are coming up, like Victor Osimhen and Vlahovic. And even though he's 29, I'm seeing a bit of Van Persie-esque signing. He's 29. I personally feel that if Manchester United can get their hands on Harry Kane, it's a one-way ticket to the title.
Definitely. And in my opinion, just to play devil's advocate for Manchester United fans, I believe Harry Kane should actually just go to Arsenal. Two things. It would mean something for Arsenal to get Harry Kane from Tottenham, their arch rivals, and then go on to win the Premier League, because there is no doubt about it. If Harry Kane is added to this Arsenal squad, as it is, with Arteta, they're definitely winning the Premier League.
You're not even just talking about the Premier League. They're going on
no less than 30 goals
this season. So
no less.
Well,
it will be crazy. It will be crazy.
Like, it's going to be a monstrous signing for whoever gets their hands on Harry Kane.
Definitely. I think I should put the question out to the fans. In the comment sections, let us know, do you think Arsenal should put their hat in the ring for Harry Kane, seeing as there's a little bit of unsettlement there, in the Tottenham Hotspur camp? Do you think Harry Kane will move as well from Tottenham? Because there's also people that are saying that he's going to stay at Tottenham. He wants it to be like, that kind of one player, one club type situation.
No matter what, I think he's going to remain in England, because he's just like 60 goals away from
beating
Alan Shearer's record. But he's going to stay in the Premier League. But I strongly believe that Man United are going to get their hands on Harry Kane. But we will be there no matter what.
All right, talking about other football outside the Premier League, right? The Super League, the conversation has come up again, right? We saw the situation, that a couple months ago or a couple years ago. The Super League situation came up. The top 6 teams in the Premier League were part of the Super League consortium, and everybody fought tooth and nail against it. But this time around, we're hearing that there is a proposal for an 80-team European League competition. So that will be the Super League now. It will not be the Super League that has just the top 6 teams in Premier League, the top 4 in Italy, the top 4 in La Liga. So now it's going to stretch to 80 teams. And yeah, the media is fighting hard against it. What do you think?
Well, of course, I never liked the idea of the first ideas they brought about just the top clubs. But now I've done my review and I've seen that they can get between 60 to 80 teams. I was already saying, there's enough competitions. But then, if between these clubs now, these 60 to 80 teams that are going back to grassroots football, going back to championship, going back to wherever, like getting clubs from the grassroots to participate in it is going to be absolutely wonderful. And I know that there are no permanent clubs every season. They are going to switch clubs, and it's going. Actually, I think it's very, very nice. But my point remains that if it's going to be that 60 to 80 teams, it's not just going to be about the top clubs.
Yes.
They should go back to grassroots football, like improve people's football with them, because obviously there's going to be a lot of money coming in from this Super League of it. So I think, it's a good idea. They've done their review and they've seen the mistake they made in the past, just trying to involve just the top clubs. And now I feel they're going to involve the grassroots football.
In my opinion, I feel like I just need to address people's grievances against the Super League, right? I want you watching me now to just really look back and check. Why exactly do you not like the European Super League? Why exactly do you have these strong grievances against the European Super League? I believe that there is a media agenda against it because of the fact that the Super League will basically be taking money away from certain established powers. For example, if there's a European Super League today, I promise you the UEFA Champions League, as it is today, will probably cease to exist. Do you get that? So it is not going to be like an added. Some teams will now be able to withdraw from the UEFA Champions League. And what does that mean? For media powerhouses that are heavily invested in the UEFA Champions League. For UEFA themselves that are heavily invested in the UEFA Champions League. So that's what I need you to see. Imagine a situation where during that period, as Nigerians now, for example, on Twitter, when Sky Sports, for example, post a video, it is geolocated and it is blocked off. You cannot watch a Sky Sports video on Twitter. But during the Super League situation, when the whole thing was going crazy, you could see their videos. So you can understand that there is an agenda. There is a personal agenda by these media houses to make sure that the Super League does not exist, because it will be taking money directly out of their hands into other people's hands. So that is the situation. So now when you hear all these broadcasters and all of them, all these journalists coming out and being passionate about it, and then they are trying to guilt-trip you fans into believing, oh, this is not morally right. This is some people that are, power hungry. These are some people that are, just trying to grab money and what have you. please look at those biases and understand why they are saying what they are saying. It definitely favors them for the Super League to not hold. But you as a fan, if you look at the European Super League on the merits of what it proposes, does it look interesting? Do you think it is good enough? Do you think it's a good enough competition to hold? Do you understand me? What does the league stand for? Those are the things you should look at, not just because some journalist on Sky Sports is telling you that the Super League is a bad idea. You know, they are heavily invested in making sure it does not happen. So that's what I think fans should really look at and make sure that, you know, they don't get bamboozled by media and by.
But do you think it's going to be a top competition when it comes into play?
I believe so. Because, I mean, you're having something similar to the Champions League and maybe even better.
Come on, we saw the UEFA Conference League. It's not even up to the Europa League.
But that's the UEFA Conference League. That is not a UEFA, like, accumulative league that combines the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Conference League. The Conference League was sort of like something that they just wanted to use to just justify themselves against this this Super League situation in the first place, right? Just to involve other people so that they can bring other people on their side. Yeah. All those smaller clubs on their side. So yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, make up your minds. Let us know what you think in the comment sections. Do you think the European Super League is a good idea? Do you think it's something that you would like to see? But to quickly wrap things up, the FIFA Best Men's Coach shortlist, the 3-man shortlist has been released, and we have Ancelotti of Real Madrid, Guardiola of Man City, and Scaloni of Argentina. Who do you think should win it?
It's a tough one to call between Ancelotti and Argentine, yeah, and Scaloni.
Guardiola
should not be there. Guardiola should not be there, honestly. Right. I think both managers, Ancelotti and Scaloni, they've done well. Scaloni won the World Cup. Ancelotti won the Champions League. Yes, it's going to be a tough call, but I think at the end, it's going to be given to the World Cup winner.
Just quickly wrap things up. LeBron James, the GOAT of basketball, right? What do you think?
Absolutely outstanding. Like, it's a brilliant moment for him and his family. I couldn't watch the game, but I watched the highlight and I just saw the moment he made that headline. It was so emotional for him and just keeps him head and shoulders above the rest. And it's a record that stood for how many years?
Yeah, for quite some time, because I mean the person with the record before was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know since when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like, even before MJ,
before
so,
black and white TV,
right? So yeah, that's definitely something big. Let us know in the comment sections who you think is the greatest of all time in basketball. In my opinion, I feel like the sky, you know, is wide enough for many birds to fly. You can say MJ is the greatest, you can say LeBron James is the greatest as well, but you know, it just is what it is. Let us know in the comment sections. Of course, the question of the day, do you think Mason Greenwood should continue as a Manchester United fan, right? Let us also know what you think about Manchester City's financial fair play situation. What punishment do you think fits Manchester City best? Let us know in the comment sections anywhere you're watching this. As well, also, we played a little bit of devil's advocate talking about Arsenal taking Harry Kane from Tottenham Hotspur. Do you think that should happen? Let us know anywhere that you're watching this. From myself and Gerald, I think that's an episode. Of course, a message to Shopsy again. We miss you, Shopsy.
Walking alone right now. I can't wait to see you.
Right? Catch you guys in the next one.